Imagine walking into your garden and harvesting fresh vegetables year after year, without starting from scratch every spring. No endless replanting. No buying new seeds for every bed. No wondering whether you remembered to plant everything at the right time. For many gardeners, one of the biggest problems is that vegetable gardening can feel like starting over every single year. You prepare the soil. You buy seeds. You plant. You water. You wait. And then, after one season, many of those plants are gone. But what if part of your vegetable garden could keep coming back? That's where perennial vegetables can make gardening much easier. Plant them in the right location. Give them the care they need to become established. And some can provide harvests for years to come. But there's a catch. Not every perennial vegetable grows well in every climate. Some need cold winters. Others prefer warmer regions. And one of the vegetables on this list has a surprising way of spreading itself around your garden. So stay with me until the end, because number one could become one of the most unusual and productive plants in your entire edible garden. And before we dig in, if you enjoy practical gardening tips that can save you time and help you grow more food, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Now, let's look at 6 perennial vegetables that can come back better every year. Number 6, asparagus. Let's start with a vegetable that tests every gardener's patience. Asparagus is definitely not a plant for instant results. That's the problem many first-time growers face. They plant asparagus and expect to harvest quickly. But asparagus needs time. Depending on how you start it and your growing conditions, it can take around 2 to 3 years before you enjoy a meaningful harvest. That may sound like a long wait, but here's the solution. Think of those first years as an investment. While you're waiting, the plant is building the strong root system it needs to produce for years to come. Once established, asparagus can return every season with proper care. Choose a permanent spot carefully, because this is not a vegetable you want to move around regularly. Give it full sun and sandy or loamy, well-drained soil. Regular watering is especially important during the first 2 growing seasons, and asparagus also benefits from a climate with a proper winter dormancy period. So before planting, make sure it suits your local region. For gardeners willing to wait, few vegetables offer such a satisfying long-term reward. But the next plant gives you a much more dramatic presence in the garden. Number 5, artichoke. Artichokes can look almost too beautiful to be vegetables. With their large architectural leaves and impressive flower buds, they can make an edible garden look like an ornamental landscape. But they do have one major weakness. They don't like extremes with water. Too little water, and the plant can struggle. Too much, and poorly drained soil can create serious problems for the roots. The solution is consistency. Give artichokes regular moisture, but make sure excess water can drain away. They also love sunshine, so aim for at least 6 hours of direct sun each day. In warmer regions, artichokes can grow as reliable perennials. In colder areas, winter protection with heavy mulch may help some plants survive, depending on your climate and variety. They are generally best suited to warmer growing regions, so check your local hardiness zone before planting. If you have the right conditions, though, an artichoke can become a spectacular long-term addition to your edible garden. And number 4 is for gardeners who love bold flavor. Number 4, horseradish. Maybe you've only ever seen horseradish in a jar, but growing it yourself is a completely different experience. Horseradish produces large, bright green leaves and can even develop clusters of fragrant white flowers. But the real prize is underground. Its roots are what give horseradish that powerful, unmistakable flavor. The biggest mistake gardeners make is assuming that because horseradish is tough, it needs no care. It is hardy, but extremely dry soil can cause the roots to become woody and less pleasant. The solution is simple. Water during long, dry periods, but avoid constantly soggy soil. Good drainage is essential because overwatering can cause root problems. Horseradish grows well in full sun, although it can tolerate some partial shade. Give it a permanent space where it has room to grow. And one more thing, like several vigorous perennial plants, it can spread and become difficult to remove once established. So choose its location wisely. Coming up next is a classic vegetable that rewards gardeners who want something productive without constant attention. Number 3. Rhubarb. Rhubarb is a dream plant for gardeners who want a more hands-off edible garden. Once established, it is hardy, productive, and generally has relatively few serious pest and disease problems. Its large leaves also make a bold statement in the garden, while its colorful stalks can be harvested for pies, jams, sauces, and many other recipes. But here's the problem. Some gardeners become impatient and harvest too aggressively from young plants. The solution is to give new rhubarb plants time to establish before taking too much. Once mature, harvest the stalks during the growing season while leaving enough healthy growth for the plant to remain strong. Give rhubarb consistent moisture and well-draining soil. It can grow in full sun or partial sun, depending on your local climate. And if you're gardening in a region with cold winters, rhubarb can be especially rewarding because it is well adapted to winter dormancy. One important safety reminder: the stalks are the edible part. Rhubarb leaves should not be eaten. And now we're getting to one of the most unusual vegetables on this list. Number 2. Wild leek. Wild leeks, sometimes known as ramps, have a flavor that falls somewhere between onion and garlic, but they require a different approach from the sun-loving vegetables we've discussed so far. Their biggest problem is moisture management. During active growth in early spring, they appreciate consistently moist soil, but constantly waterlogged conditions can damage the bulbs. And once their foliage naturally dies back in early summer, they enter dormancy. That changes the care routine. The solution is to let the plant's natural cycle guide you. Keep the soil appropriately moist while the leaves are actively growing. Avoid waterlogging and reduce regular watering once the foliage dies back and the bulbs become dormant. Wild leeks generally prefer partial shade and loamy soil, making them especially interesting for gardeners with a bright but not fully sunny area. Both the leaves and bulbs are edible, but because wild leeks can grow slowly, harvest responsibly, and avoid removing an entire patch. And now, number 1, the perennial vegetable with a name that tells you exactly what makes it so fascinating. Number 1, Egyptian walking onion. This may be the most entertaining vegetable you can grow. The Egyptian walking onion doesn't behave like an ordinary onion. Instead of producing a typical flower, it develops clusters of small bulbils at the top of tall green stalks. As those bulbils grow heavier, the stalk can bend toward the ground. Eventually, they may touch the soil and begin growing, making the plant appear to walk across your garden. And that's not the only reason it's valuable. You can harvest the green tops like scallions. You can use the underground bulbs, and you can harvest the small bulbils as well. But here's the biggest mistake to avoid. Don't harvest everything. If you remove every bulb and every bulbil, there will be nothing left to regenerate the patch. The solution is simple. Harvest selectively. Leave enough plants and bulbils behind so the patch can continue producing year after year. A little compost once or twice a year is often enough to help keep the plants productive. Give them full sun and well-draining soil, and they can be remarkably easy to maintain. For gardeners who want a vegetable that provides multiple harvests and practically helps renew itself, this one is hard to beat. So what can perennial vegetables do for your garden? They can save you time. They can reduce the amount of planting you need to do every year. And once established, they can turn part of your garden into a long-term source of fresh food. But the secret is choosing the right plants for the right conditions. Asparagus needs patience, and suitable winter dormancy. Artichokes prefer warmth, sunshine, and careful watering. Because the best edible garden isn't necessarily the one that requires the most work. Sometimes it's the one that keeps giving you a reason to walk outside and harvest something fresh, year after year. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these tell us in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more simple gardening tips.